On the video team, it's your job to explain the problem that your team is trying to solve, as well as how you're going to solve it in a 30-second video. Let's take a look at how we do that. Alright, once I'm in Powtoon, I'm going to create a new video. You'll see there's a number of great templates to choose from. You can sort and filter them. I'm going to end up choosing this one right here. I highly recommend you do the same. It's a great preset to get started from. Now, first thing you want to know is that Powtoon is a timeline. And what it shows up above is whatever's at that point where the red arrow is pointing. So right here you can see that I can go up and I can change what's showing up right there in the timeline. And then I can go and edit my text just by double-clicking and typing in the problem that I'm running into. I can change the font size, I can go and center things, I can move things around a little bit. And now I've moved on to a second frame here. And here I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit the actual text again. So I'm going to change this text around, introducing need to bounce. And then you can see that as I slide the arrow over, that text disappears and a new set of text pops up. So I'm going to change this around a little bit. And then I'm going to remove these things, those aren't really necessary. Now you're going to see, I'm going to start dragging this mouse back and forth so that I can actually see what it looks like. Alright, so that looks okay. But it seems to take a little bit too long at the very beginning thing. Yeah, so time is of the essence. So you can see there's like 2 or 3 seconds right here where this text is up. You don't really need 3 seconds to read that. So let's see if we can't go and squeeze this down a little bit. So if we can see that if I scroll over, that text shows up at the 6-second mark. And then you can see that this text shows up, you can see it starts at the 2-second mark and goes down to the 5-second. So what happens if we squeeze that down to the 4-second mark? So this one's going to show up at 1 second and then leave at 4 seconds. Let's just play from the beginning of this slide, introducing need to bounce. Alright, it's better, but it's still too long. So let's see if we can go squeeze that down another ½ second. So I'm going to drag that red arrow back, going to select the text I want, squeeze it down another ½ second. Same thing with the text above. And then we're going to play again from this slide, see how it shows up. Introducing need to bounce, and then fades away. Alright, so that's better timing there, but now we have a big space between that text and the second set of text. So let's move this text forward so that it comes in right after the old text fades out. I also want to make sure my little happy guy does the same thing. So let's try that. Introducing need to bounce. Alright, well, that's not what we want either. Now they're colliding with each other. So I got to make sure that I leave enough time for the old text to move out and the new text to come in. So I'm going to move my red arrow to just where those two things happen. I'm going to find my text. I'm going to move this back just about a second or so, maybe a ½ second. See how that works out. This is called scrubbing, when you take the arrow and move back and forth. Yeah, that looks better. That looks much better that way. So I'll do the same thing with my happy guy here. Need to bounce. Well, that's kind of nice. That has, you read the text and then he comes in happy. That's nice. Bounce. Fades out. Text comes in, and now we got our happy guy. Alright, this is looking better, but I think I want a little more emphasis on be on time. Right now this is just a lot of text that all shows up at once. It would be nice if it said, now you'll always be, and then boom, hit them with on time. So here I'm going to create some new text. I'm going to add my on time text in here. So now it's a separate section, it's a separate little object here. I'm going to go change this text a little bit here so it'll show up first. Now you'll always be, and then ideally it'll say on time after that. So to do that, to get it lined up, I'm going to go check the timing for, I'm actually just going to move this time up. So you'll see that now you always be on time. It shows up after. That's looking good. Alright, and then I got to make sure that they fade out at the same time. So now I'm just going to click and drag this end section. I'm going to move it forward just a bit. Make sure that everybody ends at the same time. That's looking good. Now let's bring our little happy guy. Let's make sure he ends at the same time as everybody else. And then let's get this to play. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Now we just got that extra second at the end. Let's see if we can go and fix that second there. And I just do that by clicking the little minus sign at the end of this. Boom! And now all of a sudden this little clip is 1 second shorter. And you can see on time. Nice. It's got a nice little punch and gets right to the point. Alright, so now let's go and finish up the rest of our clips here. I'm going to go grab some, they got some great clip art here. I'm just going to click and drag these in here, rotate them a little bit. You can move them around, you can do whatever you like with this. Now in my case it doesn't save money, it saves time. Keep moving around. Overall looks good. Oh, but I want to make sure that these clocks show up at the right time. So again, I'm just going to click and move to make sure that these show up at the right time and disappear at the right time. Almost looks like we got one clock that's not lined up. I'm going to go and extend my other clocks to make sure they're all lined up together and play from the beginning. Boom. That's how that works. Last little slide here. Now you can add more slides if you want, but I'm just going to use these. Add on my URL, play this. That's looking solid. So now let's see how it looks from the very beginning. I'm going to make sure I move this arrow to the front and then hit play. Alright, let's see. And there's a little bit of background music they've got playing here. You can't hear it in this recording, but you should be able to see it or hear it when you do your thing. Takes time, yay! Just put in a product image there if I had time. And then hit them with the call to action. Alright, there we go. So that's our movie. Now we want to share this. We want to put this up on YouTube. So click the share button. Go ahead and select upload to YouTube. You're going to have to give them your credentials. Make sure you do that. After that, you're just going to use the standard upload quality. Pick a category. Any category you want. Doesn't really matter. For this purposes, I'm setting it as unlisted. You can have it as unlisted or public, not private though. Alright, click share and then you will get notified via YouTube when it is available. It can take 5 to 15 minutes, so definitely do it early, but once you do, it should be all set. Now you know everything you need to launch in an hour. Feel free to play around and experiment as well. This is your chance to learn, but do it quickly, because remember, done is better than perfect. Alright, I'll see you when you launch.